Ever since I was little, I have always enjoyed reading stories about how successful businesses have been created and the way entrepreneurs have shaped the world. I'm quite passionate about this subject, which is why I'm doing this talk, to nurture this passion in you. I was once reading a book in my history class, and I found the definition of a pioneer. It said that a pioneer is one who ventures into unknown or unclaimed territory to settle. I started to think of the similarities between a pioneer and an entrepreneur. I saw in them a similar type of behavior in which they both dared to do things that others didn't even try. The idea of studying the psychology behind entrepreneurship came to my mind while I was making this comparison. Iconic figures like Leonardo da Vinci came to my mind while I was making this comparison. You may wonder, how was Da Vinci an entrepreneur? Well, during the time that he worked as an artist, everyone was focused on painting two-dimensional canvases. But he took a step with aeronautics and created an image of the very first human-powered flight device, long before any other human gained interest in this area. Not only was Da Vinci a remarkable artist, but a pioneer who innovated the study of aeronautics. Now I know that what characterizes pioneers, but most specifically entrepreneurs, is their strong mind with very distinctive psychological traits. Think of daring to venture into the unknown, taking a first step and going against the odds. A decision that is very difficult for many, since most people are afraid of failure. However, true entrepreneurs are willing to take these risks because they correlate failure with the opportunity to grow. Take, for example, a flower. You take a pot, you add soil to it, then you add a seed into the soil, and you patiently wait for it to grow. But it's not always that easy, right? We often run into obstacles that could limit our ability to reach our goals. In this case, maybe there's not enough soil or you're not putting enough water. I have learned that the important thing is not to wait for the flower to grow, but to learn how to overcome each and every one of the obstacles. Life is like planting a flower, and it's up to you to make it blossom to its full potential. Along with the way entrepreneurs view failure, there are other psychological traits that differentiate their behavior from the one of others. These traits are the following. First, perseverance. What it takes to never give up when surpassing obstacles in the path to success. It is clear that giving up is extremely easy and is something that we could do regularly. But when one is perseverant and does not surrender, can achieve unimaginable things. It is to have determination, such a strong vocation or desire that you do everything to achieve it. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw once dreamt of studying medicine, but she failed the exam for medical school. Her plans had changed, and so she decided to become a professional brewmaster. But this was a male-dominated industry in India, and so no one would hire her. So she decided to take a step with creating industrial enzymes. She created a company called Biocon. Nowadays, she has more than 7,000 employees, and Biocon is Asia's biggest producer of insulin. How did she achieve all of this? By being perseverant and not giving up despite of the multiple obstacles that she faced. Second, risk-taking. More than just being adventurous when taking risks, it's what it takes to be open to risk. One must take their chances and go against the odds so that they can achieve the unexpected. This is why entrepreneurs are not carried by the tide, they swim against it. An example of someone who swam against the tide is James Dyson, who saw potential in a vacuum cleaner. He created a vacuum cleaner which soon became a bestseller, but on this process, he had to run through multiple risks. The first one was that when he was about to release his product and was looking for manufacturers, none were interested, and so he had to become a manufacturer himself. This wasn't an easy job, nor it was cheap, since he had to borrow $900,000 with his house on the line. Then, when he was about to expand his production site, he wasn't allowed, and so he had to move his production site all the way to Malaysia. This meant that he had lost 500 employees and had to start over in a place very different to Britain. After everything that he went through, James says that he liked living on the edge. All those years that his house was in hock to the bank, he liked the danger. The idea that everything depended on getting the next product right in every way. His openness to risk did pay off at the end. Third, self-confidence. It's simple. Believe in yourself. A type of light that guides entrepreneurs through the dark. It's like to have the traits. Entrepreneurs need to have a strong confidence within themselves and their ideas. If they're not confident about their ideas, then who will invest in them? But to do this, they must think ahead of others. Instead of going around bragging to others about what they're about to do, entrepreneurs focus on actually doing this first. It's to play offense instead of defense. Sarah Blakely is the founder of Spanx, one of the most successful manufacturers of underwear. She now has a net worth of $1 billion and has been ranked in lists like Time 100. But not everything was this good. At her mid-20s, Sarah was not living her best life. Her idea of creating Spanx came simply by creating a list of the things that she was good and not good at. The one thing that was on the column of the list that she was good at was sales. So she believed in her idea and her ability to sell things and decided to start selling a product that wasn't already being sold. She was able to create Spanx simply because she believed in her ability to sell things. Last but not least, adaptability to change. What it takes to respond to changes. It is obvious that the demands of today will not be the same as those of yesterday or those of tomorrow. And so as demands change, entrepreneurs need to find a way to comply with them. This is a trait that dates back to as early as human evolution. Charles Darwin, one of the greatest scientists of all time, proposed a theory which stated, "It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change." When responding to this shows that being responsive to change has been a key trait for humans throughout history. Reed Hastings was capable of inventing a business that killed Blockbuster, which was the dominant business of that time. This was because he found a way of creating a business in which one could rent movies through mail, instead of renting the physical DVD in stores. But his vision went far beyond this, and so he decided to invest in streaming. His investment in streaming led to the creation of Netflix, which is now a major player in the television industry. Funny story, my grandmother once told me that she managed to cope with the absence of my grandfather thanks to Netflix. What I'm trying to say with all of this is that entrepreneurship is not necessarily for those with a high IQ or a supernatural talent, but it is simply for those who nurture these traits and have the right mindset. This is why they are not only the right equipment for success in business, but a great tool for life. This is not a motivational speech. I'm just saying that once you have the right mindset, you can start to achieve more things. It's like athletes building their muscles. Once they have worked out and their muscles are fit, they can compete and have more chances of winning. Build your psychological muscles and go for it. You don't have to create the next Fortune 500 company or be in the cover of Forbes magazine. You just have to start small, pursue your passion, and achieve the things that you are determined to achieve. Thank you.